Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me in this session where we are discussing the five key responsibilities of a man to himself. This is a man who's growing up in an environment maybe that might be negative, maybe might be positive. Either way, a man still has responsibilities to himself. So we do have a problem. We do have a problem as men. We have a problem that we see outside in um, physical nature. We see that physically other people, other men are growing, and we are not. Physically, we see that other men are, depending on the criteria used, other men are successful, and we are not. We can see that other men are able to live their life purposefully, and we don't have a purpose. Other men are able to create a vision, and they're able to set up goals, and they're able to go with these goals, and we don't. So there is a problem. What makes us not to be vision driven? What makes us not to be like them? What makes us not to be, depending on the criteria, also successful? What makes us not to be going at life and challenge life? Is it a matter of where we are born at? Is it a matter of the race, color of my skin? Is it a matter of the people around me, those who I grew up with? Is it a matter of knowledge, maybe versus ignorance? Is it a matter of me going the wrong way and not choosing the right way? So all those questions are questions that I'm asking myself, and hence the reason why I'm creating this video, so that we are able to start up these discussions. My aim with these videos is to get us to start thinking, to be conscious of things, to be conscious of our decisions, to be conscious of the way we are walking, to be conscious of the trends that we are creating, to be conscious of the environments that we are creating. And once we become conscious, it's easy for us to then start influencing the subconscious mind, which was wired incorrectly at birth. So the statement I want to build up on in this particular discussion is the statement, or the notion that when we were born, our minds were born empty. As children are born, there's nothing in the mind. The only thing that baby possesses, even neurologically, those people who have studied the mind will be able to bear testimony. A baby is born without a conscious mind. He can't think for himself, he can't reason, but his subconscious mind is there. So whatever wiring that the baby comes across or receives, that baby is then able to take that wiring, and it becomes the baby's foundation for impilo yakhe yonke. So for example, let me give you an example. So if you take a laptop that is new from the box, no programming has been done, and you take that laptop and you try to operate it, nothing will happen. But if you program that laptop, and that programming will become the life of that laptop. So whatever you do using the laptop will be according to the program that you've programmed on the laptop. Quite simple. This is the very same thing that happens to children. So when we are young and we grow up under maybe a stressful environments, and our mothers or fathers are always complaining about life, complaining about poverty, complaining about money, being mainly negative towards life, complaining about their chances in life, complaining about apartheid and all of those issues. What we then do is that as babies, we hold on to that negative negative inclination. We hold on to that negative wiring, and therefore we become negative people as we grow up. So everything that we do, and that talks to the attitude that you develop in life, that talks to the perspective that you take on in life. Now, this is very key, very important to note that we do have a problem. So these 5 key responsibilities, as I mentioned them, I want you to think about that problem, and I want you to think about how maybe we could look and saying, how do we solve such a problem? How do we consult people who've studied the mind and neurologists? How do we confront? How do you confront or maybe seek knowledge from psychologists and people, so that we are able to understand what really happens up here that can maybe be an influence in my life. So the first point I want to make, this is the first point I want to make about the 5 key responsibilities of a man to himself. A man has a responsibility to himself. A man must be able to account for his life. A man must take responsibility for his life. He must take on and become basically his responsibility towards himself will determine the type of man that he will become in life. Now, the first point around this I want to say is that you must fight the things that keep holding you back. As a man, the first responsibility is to fight the things that keep holding you back. So certain things hold you back. Some men are held back by the way they think. Some men are held back by ignorance. Some men are held back by too much information and not maybe understanding how to use that information. That can be something that's holding you back. Some men are held back by fear. A fear of love, a fear of giving themselves fully, fear of not wanting to understand and rather settling for a life that is lacking in knowledge and understanding that we are born as babies without knowledge, without information, and that everything that we have in our heads we carry throughout. So a person, when you look at me or you look at yourself, you are the result of the information and the experiences that you carry inside your head. So if we had to go through and do something new, your mind will go to memory and try to receive something that will help you in dealing with that particular issue, because you've dealt with it before. But if you've never dealt with it before, then what happens is that you cannot go in and retrieve from memory something that can assist you with that particular challenge. So we need to fight the things that are holding us back. We need to fight if it's a lack of knowledge that's holding us back, then we need to start reading. If it's lack of love in our hearts that hold us back, we need to find ways and seek in prayer and understanding of powerful principles, biblical principles that can assist us into becoming loving people, loving fathers, caring fathers. We need to fight poverty. We need to fight poverty by moving from maybe by understanding that poverty can be fought. Poverty we can fight poverty. There's a different certain way of thinking and attitude that we're going to have to take in order for us to fight poverty, but poverty can be fought. So we need to fight the things that are holding us back. If it's time that's holding us back, maybe we are consuming our time in an incorrect way, spending time with people that are not beneficial to us. We need to fight that by moving away from these people. Maybe alcohol is wasting our time. Maybe our time is spent on things that are not contributing or directing us to a vision. We need to be able to fight that. So fight the things that are holding you back. The second point I want to make is that you must feed your mind. Now improve yourself. Now, how do you improve yourself? Is that you first start by improving yourself by looking at some of the things that you are not doing correctly. So for example, I took up as I was reading through a certain document, I found out that companies or businesses do what you call a SWOT analysis. So basically, a SWOT analysis is whereby you take a piece of paper and you write in 4 blocks. It will be your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. So I did the same thing with my life. I looked at what are my strengths in life, what are my weaknesses. One of the weaknesses I had, I can say I had, was procrastination, because and I needed to understand what the problem was. Why wasn't I improving? Why wasn't I getting better in the things that I do? Therefore, when I understood procrastination and how it damaged my life, I started seeking knowledge. I started feeding my mind with possible solutions that would help me with procrastination, and also looked at my strengths. I mean, some of the strengths were there, and I added more to play more according to my strengths, and I dealt with the negatives. And so part of that is to say, how do you feed your mind? The types of TV shows that you are watching. Are you watching news in the morning that talk about killings very early in the morning before you even create your day by the words that you speak? Are you already in a negative and creating a negative atmosphere in your mind? Or are you looking at things that empower you, things that give you life, that give you a sense of wanting to become better? Are you spending time with the people that grow you, that encourage you, that allow you to fail and don't give up on you? Or are you spending time with people that mainly not talking about things that make up and build other people? So those are the things that you need to look at when you are feeding your mind. TV shows, the type of music you listen to, because that can become a problem as well. I remember in university there was another time we came from a party, and when we got to our place, we started playing this hip-hop song, and this hip-hop song was about taking revenge. And at the party, what had happened was that a small fight had broken between my brother's friends and I. And so when we were at the flat, or rather the residence, we started playing that song, and anger started brewing, and we went back and we carried on with the fight. So basically what I'm trying to say is that you need to make sure that the type of music is talking to your vision, is talking to where you want to go. So second point is feed your mind. The third point is speak positive words. Now this is very important, because you must understand the function of the mind. One of the functions of the mind is that it takes information from our senses. So through eyesight, through touching and tasting, that information goes through to the mind, and then what the mind does is that it makes that information available to you, so that you can then be able to have reaction, or be able to react to whatever situation it is. So this particular point is saying that when you speak, you are actually giving information to the mind of the type of person that you are. So when you always speak negative words, when you always speak I'm poor, or things don't work out for me, or rather I always have to go through difficulty, that is actually what the mind perceives. And so it then contributes to your attitude towards things, that such that even when you are in a good situation, you are in a winning situation, you will not be able to see it. You will not be able to see that problems bring about opportunities for you. Problems make you grow. Problems make you strong. In fact, research shows that when a graph was taken on a certain individual, research shows that that particular person grew the most in times of trouble. He grew in understanding in times of trouble. He grew his finances in times of trouble, because that's when you learn to save. I mean, even biblically, if you remember the story of Joseph, when there was famine, he was able to have more. When there was problems that were coming, he decided, when he knew that there was a problem coming, when he foresaw, or he saw in advance that there was a problem coming, what he did was that he started planning for his life now. So you need to use those problems that are coming in the future, that will come. You know that cold days are coming. You know that winter nights are coming. You know that different scenarios will come. Where there will be a time when you do not have funds. There will be a time when you do not have things, and so what you do is that you start preparing for them now. So you use your problems to actually bring opportunities for you, and as you start working for your future problems or future things or scenarios, even problems that you're going through, you find that yourself, you become more knowledgeable in terms of things. You're able to assist other people on how to deal with situations that you've gone through. So the third point is speak positive words, speak positive things about your life. Don't always complain. Complaining must never be found in your mouth, because you attract the things that you always say. Your mind registers, your subconscious mind registers what you always say. The fourth point is to shift your paradigm. Now I always make this example, and people who I always hang around with will know this example. I'm sure they're getting tired of it now, but I don't care, as long as the point comes across. So if you're looking at a certain challenge or a problem, and you're looking at it from one direction, and there's another person who's looking at it from another direction, you find that if you are going to be vocal and opinionated about your direction, you may miss out on the views of the other person. So it is very important that you, as a man, it's your responsibility to shift your paradigm. Make sure that when you attend a meeting, you get all the viewpoints from the other people. You get understanding of how the other people see things, and that in most cases, 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10, it will then inform to your views. It will contribute to your views, and you will be able to make a view, or rather have a response that is covering all parts of whatever the problem might be. And the other thing around paradigm shifts is that it allows you to get into other people's minds, so you don't have to waste time on understanding everything, but you understand that when you are in psychology, by being able to spend time with a mathematician, you would understand their view in terms of how they look at the world from a numbers point of view. Statisticians, scientists, and all of that. So paradigm shifts is crucial, and it is your responsibility to shift your paradigm. And how you shift your paradigm is you shift your paradigm by listening first before you speak. So it's always important to listen first, take in, absorb, understand the different paradigms before you speak. So that is around shifting your paradigm. The last point is conquer your mind and body. You need to conquer your mind and body. Now, there's another discussion we could have on another day, but I truly believe that your mind and your body are tools that you have been given to you here on earth. Now, why do I say they are tools? I say because your body, you would not exist here on earth if you did not have a body, such that when your body gets old and you either get cancer, and your body fails to live and fails to have life, that's when you expire being here on earth. So your body is actually given to you here on earth as an access point. You are able to only access earth through your body. Now, why I say your mind is also a tool that's given to you, because you have the power to shape your mind or use your mind to what you want it to be used for. You have the power to speak to your mind and tell your mind and speak against your mind. Because the one thing how I actually got to discover that was the understanding of everyone has negative thoughts. Why do I get negative thoughts? I mean, I'm not a bad person, but I get a negative thought here and there. It will just pop in and come to mind. And I discovered that I'm not my thoughts. I am not my thoughts. I have the power to override my thoughts. I have the power to speak against my thoughts using the word of God. The word of God, I can speak against my thoughts. I can speak against any negativity and speak life unto it. Sometimes you would see that fear would come in. Maybe you're about to speak or do such a video, and fear would come in and would say, no, don't do it. What will people say? Don't do it, or just stop. and when you speak against it and you declare that, I'm not born from a spirit of fear, but I'm born from a spirit of love, self-control, and power. That's when you understand that you are a powerful person and you have actually overcome your mind. So by conquering your mind is that whatever your mind tells you, you first check if it is true or not, because some things are not true. Similar to your feelings. So whatever you feel, feelings are not necessarily true. They don't represent the truth at all times. So it's important that you must understand that your mind and your body are tools that are given to you. You can either use that to make your life have meaning, make your life have a purpose, make your life have a big contribution to other people, or you can use that, or you can allow your mind to get a hold of you. You can allow your body to be on top of you, and every time your body is looking for to have fun, or is controlled by sexual needs, and you easily succumb to that, it means that your body is in control of you. But when your mind is in control, that's when you're able to tell the body that body, let's go for a run, body, let's go gym, or whatever it can be, or body, let's go visit homeless people and pray with them and do whatever it can be. So you're no longer controlled by your body, you're no longer controlled by your mind, but you are the person that's telling your mind and the body what to do. So those are the 5 key responsibilities of a man to himself, each and every man must take responsibility of himself, responsibility of his family, responsibility of his children, responsibility of his community. Every man must stand up and become responsible. In that way, we will shape up our communities, we will shape up our families, we will shape up ourselves to become the things that we are supposed to become.